am honored to welcome Assemblymember Michelle Rodriguez to the stage.
Good morning, everyone. I'm Assemblymember Michelle Rodriguez. I represent the 53rd Assembly District, which is Pomona, Ontario, Chino, Montclair, and Upland, south of Foothill. Thank you for being here today for our Senior Scam Busters workshop, which I'm co-hosting with Assemblymember John Harabedian. We share the city of Upland, so we decided to collaborate today's event together. If you live south of Foothill, I'm your Assemblymember. North of Foothill, it's Assemblymember Harabedian. Thank you to the City of Upland for working with my staff for today's event. And special thank you to, Mayor of Upland, Bill Velto, and Councilmember James Bretling. And thank you to Officer Shannon, is it Burst? Burst, from Upland PD for being here today. We appreciate it. Today's information will help you to protect yourself and your loved ones from scams. We put this event together because too many seniors are being targeted by scams, and we want to help stop that. We organized this event with one goal in mind: helping protect our seniors from scams that are becoming more aggressive and harder to detect. This is needed more than ever with the rise of artificial intelligence. My own mother got scammed. They called her up and told her that my daughter had ran somebody over at the hospital and that she was in jail and they needed money. So my mom called me freaking out. I couldn't get a hold of my daughter. I was freaking out. Then come to find out several hours later, my son's a deputy sheriff. He was trying to call and see what he could do, have his sergeant look into it. Come to find out my daughter was making the rounds at the hospital because she's a respiratory therapist and she was super busy and could not answer our calls. So when I finally got to talk to her, it was such a sigh of relief. But those are just scams that I thank God that my mom reached out to myself without sending money to anybody, so that helped. So, whether it's a phone call, a text, or someone showing up at your door, scammers are getting more creative. Today, you will hear directly from experts who deal with this every day. They will walk you through what to look out for and how to protect yourself. If something feels off, trust your gut. You do not owe anyone your money or your information. I want to recognize our partners who helped make today's event possible: the Department of Financial Protection and Innovation and the Department of Insurance. Thank you for being here. My office, thank you for the dedication to helping empower our seniors with valuable information. The kind of outreach only works when we all come together. My office is always here as a resource. If you have any questions after today or need support down the road, do not hesitate to reach out. Thank you all again for being here and looking out for yourself and each other. And now it's my honor to introduce my colleague and co-host, Assemblymember Harabedian from the 41st Assembly District.
Thank you, Assemblymember Rodriguez, and really I want to give it up to Assemblymember Rodriguez for this event because she and I work very well and very closely in Sacramento, and we're both honored to represent Upland. And as Assemblymember Rodriguez said, north of Foothill, that's me. South of Foothill, that's Assemblymember Rodriguez. But she came to me weeks ago and said, "Hey, I think we need to do this event because I do think that this is a growing problem," and I couldn't agree with her more. I do think that this is becoming more and more of a prevalent issue, unfortunately. And I think the rise of scams and frauds on our seniors is really being proliferated because of technology, AI. I mean, just trying to delineate between what is real and fake in this world is really difficult. And so we're doing this really to protect you. It's our main goal in being your representatives is to make sure that you don't fall victim to anything. And so, you're going to hear from some speakers and some experts about warning signs about fraud, scams, anything that feels awry. Assemblymember Rodriguez shared a story about her family. I think all of us have dealt with that. And I think there's a lot of shame. I think that a lot of this happens because a lot of us who have fallen victim, and many people in this room probably have at least flirted with it or maybe have fallen victim. There's oftentimes a lot of shame. You don't want to admit to yourself or to your family members that you were actually defrauded and you fell victim to these scams. But I'll tell you, on a daily basis, literally on a daily basis, I get a text message, an email, or something to the effect that is telling me that I owe money, that I need to call a hotline, that I need to give them my credit card to pay off a debt. it's extremely, extremely enticing to fall for these things, and I almost fall for them daily. So let's be clear, no one should be ashamed of ever falling victim to any scam or fraud that is occurring, because it is extremely sophisticated, it's happening to all of us. The only way that we protect each other is actually being in this together. And you know, it's the old saying, if you see something, say something, protecting your neighbors. And you know, fool me once, shame on you, but fool me twice, shame on me. And I think that this event is really about educating all of us, protecting all of us, and coming together and saying, hey, no one is above this. The smartest people in our community are being targeted, and although this is a senior focused event, it really could be for anyone of any age. And so I just want to thank Assemblymember Rodriguez. She's in leadership in Sacramento. She's our Assistant Majority Whip. She is a fantastic representative for this community. And although we split the community, we're arm in arm. So whatever you need in Upland, we are here for you. And I just want to thank Mayor Bill Velto for being here, Councilmember James Breitling, who have been great partners. Thank you guys for joining us and everything you do for the community. We'll give a big round of applause to our City Council. So I want to bring up our first speaker. And before I do, again, thank you. Senator Rodriguez touched on everything that I wanted to. Thank you to our partners, everyone here, for helping our communities on a daily basis, but specifically for helping with this event. And if you guys need anything, both of our offices have tables back there. Our representatives are here. Please grab their card, give them your number, vice versa. We're here to help with anything, not just this. We really are very hands-on. Both of our offices are very hands-on, and our staff members can help you with anything you need. So please be sure to visit us. And our first speaker is Antonia Villaseñor from the California Department of Financial Protection and Innovation. She's going to give our first presentation today. But before she comes up, I just want to say thank you again. Thank you to Assemblymember Rodriguez for having me. And I look forward to the presentation and learning a lot with you. So thank you.
I want to thank the Assembly members, the Community Center here, and most of all, you, the consumers. This is why we're here today. So my name is Antonia Villaseñor. I'm an education and outreach specialist with the California Department of Financial Protection and Innovation. We're a state agency, and I'm happy to do this presentation. So a little disclaimer, the views and opinions expressed today are mine. They don't necessarily represent those of the department. This is not financial advice, and it does not replace professional judgment. The department doesn't assume responsibility for the completeness of the information. Things change quickly. We're trying to be as updated as we can, so you do have the most current information. You have our information about our email address and our website, which we hope you do visit. So who is the department? I want you to know that in various different iterations, we've been around since 1913, so we're not going anywhere. A lot of people haven't heard of the department, and that part of that could be because it's changed its names. It's changed its name three times since I've been here in about 15 years, so don't be surprised. So who are we? Our department is empowered by your elected officials. They write the laws that cover and address financial services, and then they give the department the regulatory responsibility to check folks out before they get a license, before they give you financial services, and then we have the responsibility to check up on them on a regular basis and make sure they're following the law. We also take your complaints. We have investigators that are badge carrying. We have lawyers that can work on those issues should they rise to the level of court. We want to work to prevent consumers both once you have a complaint, and today we're here to talk about prevention. So what I do is I offer education like this. So prevention, prevention, prevention. So to give you an idea, when I say financial services, what do we mean? We mean banks and credit unions, pay-as-you-go financing, money transmitters. And money transmitters, when we were kids, meant you went to a Western Union office or something like that, right? Now, there's all these apps on your phone, your tablet, your computer. Those are also money transmitters, so that if there's an issue, we want to know about it. And if you find one online, please check with us first to make sure they have a license. Just because people advertise themselves as a money transmitter doesn't mean they're licensed. Payday loans, investment advisors, securities brokers, and dealers, California residential mortgage originators, lenders, and servicers, student loan servicers, debt collectors, credit repair agency, and consumer credit reporting companies. We also have a student loan ombudsperson, and until next May, we have a program that's a network for anybody who has a student loan and has questions. They can actually get help from a legal aid. This is called the Student Loan Empowerment Program. So if you know anybody who has a student loan who needs help, they can come to us. Okay, I come to the events, I've been doing these events for years, and people say to me, I'm never gonna be a victim of a scam because I'm too rich, I'm too poor, I'm too cheap, I'm too stubborn. So let me ask you a question. What happens when you go grocery shopping when you're hungry? Okay, there's a neurological reason for that. This is a financial decision. When we're stressed, our amygdala turns on, and it literally turns off the executive function of the brain where we make financial decisions. People say over and over and over again, what were they thinking? The truth is they weren't. And the truth is it's because scammers know if they push us into an emotional state, like your daughter just hit somebody and everybody freaks out, right? In that freak out stage is when we're not thinking because our executive function turns off. So be aware of this. One of my big tips today is if somebody scares you, I'm gonna arrest you. Somebody's had an accident, you have to do this right away. Somebody's kidnapped, you owe money. What's on our text we're getting? Your license is gonna be suspended. A package is coming, but you owe money. All these, or you're gonna make $1 million, isn't that great? Or I have this great investment, I'm gonna offer you lots of money, and you actually see other people getting paid. All these are emotional states. How do we stay in our front executive function? Two things. Sleep on it, and the reason for that is it lets our brain rinse out the stress chemicals, literally. The other is take a pause. If you can't sleep, at least pause and talk to someone. Because when you sound out, hey, somebody's giving me this $1,000 iPhone for $50. And even though it's against my family religion to pay retail for things, you know, somebody's gonna say, Antonia, that really is too good to be true, right? So it's really important to be aware that scammers want us here. That's the biggest tip I can give you, because I can tell you about, and I will talk about some frequent scams, but if you're looking over here for these scams and this one comes at you, I want you to be aware of what the push points are. Okay. So, and here's some for phone. Never give personal information over the phone, including your name. Is this Antonia? Don't say yes. Who are you calling? First of all, don't answer the phone if you don't recognize the number. Let it go to voicemail. Now, often we're expecting calls from someone and we need to take it, and they have, because I have Kaiser, and they don't put caller ID. So let it go to voicemail or answer it, but don't give them any information. If there's a long pause, that's a computer trying to figure out. Don't just hang up. Let it go to voicemail. Somebody may, again, scare you, saying they're from Medicare, the IRS, or Social Security, or a drug company. Right now, the federal government is not going to call you. Utility companies and the IRS aren't going to start with a phone call. They'll start with letters. And the utility companies, their letters change colors, right? The more things are due. So people don't start with phone calls or texts. Also, they might ask you to pay with a gift card or some other form of wiring. Why do they do this? Because it's almost impossible to get a reimbursement. And once the money's in their hand, it's gone. So that's a big clue right there, depending on how they want the payment. So these are just some samples of text that we're getting. The other one that we're getting right now a lot is, raise your hand if you got it, the toll. Right? We're all getting the toll. And I do actually have Fast Track, so I know the difference. And what are they trying to do? They're trying to scare you. We're going to take your driver's license away. Right? That's the scary part. So just ignore it. They might tell you your account is locked. Here's a clue. We're going to pretend this is your bank statement, right? You get an email, you get a phone call, you get anything saying there's a problem with your banking account. Go to your monthly report, your credit report, your banking statement. Go to your monthly statement. On there is going to be a legitimate phone number, right? You call that number because you know it's legitimate. And you say, I'm getting some contact from someone saying they're you. Is there a problem with my account? Even better, if you have time, go in person to your bank or credit union and ask them if there's an issue. Never respond to an outside message coming at you, because all they want to do is hook you in. So don't respond to these attempts to contact you. There's a new method of doing the grandma. You know, grandma, I'm in trouble, I have money. Well, here's what they do. Here's a new twist on it. They're recording our voices and sometimes images from the internet. So there was a woman on 60 Minutes last year, a mother saying she heard her daughter's voice saying, Mom, these bad men have me, please give them money. And they programmed it for her to be terrified. What do? They copy our voices. With cheap AI, artificial intelligence programming, they can manipulate it. She did hear her daughter's voice terrified, but it wasn't her daughter. It was a manipulated copy. 2 hints on that. Have a family password. They don't know the password, no money. Now they may freak out. How do you expect me to remember? Blah, blah, blah. No family password, no money. The other is always call that other person directly, and they'll tell you a big story because that's how they make a living. My phone is stolen, it's broken, what are you, nuts? I'm in trouble right now, blah, 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 blah. Never send them money. And remember, this is an emotional moment. The brain literally, the front logical part of our brain literally shuts off at these moments, which is why a family password ahead of time is a good way to approach it. Okay. Just to give you an idea of the type of scams that people are reporting to the FBI. So we know there's way more than that, because not all scams get reported. Look at how they've increased since the beginning of COVID, pre-COVID to COVID. We went from $3.5 billion to $12 billion in scams, in internet scams. That's horrifying. And most of them are phishing. Phishing is all those scams where, hi, and that's all the text says, right? Yep, she just got one. That's called phishing. Anybody who's trying to get information from you. I got one that said, we're going to verify your $900 purchase of an iPhone. If this isn't you, respond with no. Either way, they're phishing. Don't respond. Just throw it away. Back in the day, people used to like to argue and waste the time of the scammers on the phone. I say don't do that anymore because they can now record our voices. So be careful about that. If you're on a website and doing especially sensitive interactions, purchases, banking, anything else, you want to make sure that your connection is secure. so that you see HTTP and the S. The S is really important. That means secure. If you don't see it, don't do any transactions there. Don't share any sensitive information. Okay, and people ask me, where can I report things? So here's a link, and this is federal, I think it's the Federal Trade Commission. And they want, now people are putting their own labels or they're misprinting, and I heard about it on a bus stop where they have QR codes, and they have people going to their website instead thinking they're going to a legitimate website. So be very careful when you're using somebody's QR codes. The other one, this one's awful. When somebody locks you out of your computer and said there's a scam, there it is a scam. When they said there's a problem on it, access has been blocked, blah, 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 blah. I'm really sorry, it's really inconvenient. Pick this tablet or computer or phone up and take it to a professional. Like a store that has, what do they call those, internet, tech geeks. Don't respond to the stuff that's on the computer, because sometimes they just do public viruses that they could, yeah. So don't fall for that one, because they always want money. One of our most common, I call it a tragedy, we get seniors calling us frequently saying, I've lost everything. We had a Securities Exchange Commission had a story where a teacher had lost all his $700,000 life savings. Because somebody promised to increase it real fast. So please be careful. And we have a good booklet about investment. Ask yourself questions. What am I willing to lose? How much, will this investment meet my needs? Does it allow me to access funds in the future? What are the tax implications? What are other investment options are available? I had a family member who lost $10,000 because he moved something when he shouldn't have, because the guy promised him big money of his, of his retirement investment, his 401. So be very careful. People will promise you the moon. What levels of consumer protection and disclosure? If all they're talking about is profit and they're not disclosing, that's not a good deal. I've also heard of a scam where somebody actually did ask, what's your license number, which is the question we always tell people to ask. And they said, I don't have it, but Esther's going to bring it in 20 minutes. Get up and walk out of that room, because they're trying to steal from you. They know they're supposed to have their license. They know they're supposed to have a license. As I said earlier, never rush this decision. If they're offering you a great dinner on Friday night and you don't have time to call us until Monday, Every legitimate financial transaction can wait until the next business day. If they're rushing you, it's for them. It's not for you. And the salesperson should give you time and tell you about their potential conflicts of interest. They should be upfront and honest with you. As the feds are walking away from crypto, I want you to know the department is walking towards it. We actually have a website that tells stories about who's the person cheating folks in crypto and what that deal looked like. They describe the kind of promotion that they gave to the consumers. So it won't cost you anything. Spend a few minutes, look and see the kinds of stories people are being told right now. Crypto is sort of the new fashion on investments. At one point it was real estate, today it's crypto. Sometimes it exists, sometimes it doesn't. Be careful. Think about what you can lose and don't worry about missing out. Okay, I want to talk about identity theft, and I have with me, please take one at the table. Some of you already have. I will tell anybody who will listen, please, for the love of God, freeze your credit. Freeze your social security number so that nobody can use it to open a new account. I did it, and I also used to I had to unlock it to apply for some other credit that I needed recently. And because I kept my PIN numbers handy, it went fast. It was very convenient. So keep your important documents safe. Beware of disaster-related scams and charity scams that come with disasters. Read the scam alerts. And as I said, consider the credit freeze and or a credit alert. And at the table, I have the handout that tells you the easy steps, how to do it, how to contact the credit bureaus. So it means nobody can have access to your credit report. So they won't be able to open a new account. Your accounts that you have now will not be touched. How many of you are aware that you can get your credit report every 7 days now? And it's a soft hit. It will not affect your FICO score. Okay? ID theft. Now, in the corner, I have an image from the Federal Trade Commission. That's because they have a wonderful resource that I'll talk about identity theft. It's the most common issue people come and tell me at resource tables. They say, I didn't know what to do, or I don't know what to do. Well, the Federal Trade Commission has all the steps for you, all written out, like the ones that are here. You can file a report with them if it's inconvenient to go to the police office. Some police want you to do your credit report online. Every police district is different. And they have a recovery plan for you. And here's a sample. They even have sample letters. So this is really easy to download off the internet and print out if you need it handy. So here, I want you to know, because you'll know somebody who's a victim of identity theft soon. And so you have the resources at your fingertips. They also have this available in Spanish. So please remember to trust your instincts. Check a license before you sign a contract. Make sure there's a contract, first of all. Don't just shake hands. Avoid financial decisions when someone is rushing you, when you're tired, hungry, emotional. Pause. That's really the best step. Wait. Sleep on it. And we want to hear your complaints. And quite frankly, some complaints are actually just questions. I've seen those be submitted, and what that means that in writing, one of our units is obligated to answer you. You don't have to know the law. Just, this is what happened. This is what I would like to resolve it. And some supporting documents if you have them. And hearing from you is a key way that we learn what's going on out there. Now, we do exams on a regular basis of every single licensee, but with your information, it's even better. And who knows, you may break open, we've had it happen, where one complaint breaks open a multi-million-dollar scam from somebody who doesn't have a license who's operating. We need to know about those too. And we won't throw it away if we don't regulate that company. I want you to know that. We will forward your complaint to the appropriate agency. So here's our information, and you can get it at the table. We want you to contact us with your questions, with your complaints. If you don't know where the right agency to complain to, call us. And we do have operators that speak other languages. Thank you very, very much for your time. I appreciate it.
Well, thank you very much, Antonia, for your presentation. The information you shared gave us and everyone practical tools to stay alert and protect themselves. We truly appreciate the work that you do. Up next, we will hear from Department of Insurance, who will continue the conversation on how to stay scam-free. Please join me in welcoming Judith Pina. And also, I just want to thank my staff for putting this great event together, and thank you for all the booths out here and all the information, and we appreciate it. And don't forget to take home your shredder over here from the credit union.
All right. Okay, first of all, I want to thank you all for joining us here today, and also want to thank the office and Assembly Member Michelle Rodriguez and Assembly Member John, I hope I don't butcher the name, Harabedian. for putting this fantastic event together to keep our most valued community members updated, informed, and of course, safe. A little about myself. My name is Judith Pina, and I am an outreach analyst for the Department of Insurance. My job is to inform the public about all the available services that our department provides. Today, I'll start with a brief overview of the Department of Insurance, discuss common insurance scams, and then close with resources available from you from our department. Okay. So let's go over how the Department of Insurance improves the lives of Californians. Okay, California Department of Insurance, also known as CDI, is a state department. We're a consumer protection agency. We regulate insurance marketplace to protect consumers from fraud and abuse. We regulate most kinds of insurance and maintain insurance solvency, homeowners, auto, life, and health, to name a few, but we do not sell insurance. A lot of people always ask, if we sell insurance. No, we do not sell insurance. We regulate the insurance market in the state of California. We do regulate the insurance companies, agents, brokers that sell insurance. We perform market conduct reviews of insurance companies. We resolve consumer insurance complaints, investigate and prosecute insurance fraud. As a consumer, if you ever have a problem with your insurance company, agent, or broker, or any questions that you might have related to insurance, please contact our department. So what seniors need to know? I'm sure we've heard it before. Reports indicate that seniors are the largest population targeted for scams. And we ask, why are seniors big targets? Because seniors have accumulated wealth. Some seniors may have accumulated wealth in their homes, life insurance, retirement savings, and there are people out there that want to steal, your hard-earned money. So for dishonest insurance agents, seniors tend to be their largest target. But the good news is that you're here in the right place to learn about ways that you can protect yourself. All right. So I'm going to talk about popular scams. Premium theft occurs when you buy an insurance policy from an agent or a broker and they never actually place or buying the policy with an insurance company. And you might be thinking to yourself, well, how does that happen? Well, do you get a receipt? Did you get a receipt? Do you have a copy of the policy? Do you get regular statements? Scam agents, licensed or not, may go to great lengths to steal. A few years ago, we arrested an insurance agent in San Clemente that had stolen nearly $1.2 million from senior clients through premium theft. So staged auto accident fraud. So yes, it does happen. If you get into an accident and something just doesn't feel right? Call the police, report it to your insurance company. I'm talking, about that gut feeling that you get. We all have that gut feeling. Sometimes, let's say you're driving down the street that you're familiar with, that usually isn't too busy. All of a sudden, the car in front of you stops. There's a car next to you. You can't get out of the way. You pull over. The car that was next to you is gone, right? But the car that you rear-ended pulls over. The driver gets out holding his neck. Then maybe a passenger gets out. Maybe 2 or 3 more people from this sedan all exit. Something doesn't feel right. 2 potential fraud can occur here. The driver says he's going to do you a favor. Not report it to the insurance. He could follow you to the bank, and you can handle this without reporting it. This is a red flag, right? Or the passengers all claim bodily injury for minor fender bender and file claims against your insurance company. Now you're thinking, that doesn't harm me. Insurance takes care of it. But your insurance premiums will go up because of the bodily injury claims, even if you're not at fault. This is just one example. None of you guys, we talk about this, but I'm not sure if you've seen it on the news, maybe 4 or 5 months ago, where this happened. A car stopped, hoping the car following failed to hit the car, so the car actually put the car in reverse and reversed it into the car. Luckily, in this case, the driver had a dash cam. Most of us don't do that, but in this case, good for her. So this does happen, right? So this is just one version. Again, if your gut tells you something isn't right, take a deep breath. Don't feel rushed to make any decisions on the accident site. Never admit fault. Do not discuss your insurance policy or coverage limits. You do have to exchange your insurance information, but nothing more. Oh, no, one more. So the last scam I want to talk to you about is investment, specifically having to do with annuity scams. So one of the most common popular scams involving insurance is annuity. Why? Because Californians spend an average of $20 billion on annuities, and that is a lot of money to be made by scam agents. An annuity is a contract between you and an insurance company. You buy it by making one or more premium payments, and they, in return, make income payments to you for a fixed period of time in the future. It's often used as an investment vehicle for retirement income. It's sold by licensed insurance agents, usually with a financial background. Growth in annuities are also tax deferred. So annuities are great for some, but lousy for others. There is a big penalty for you if you take your money out if you need it in case of an emergency. But agents love to sell it because of the upfront commission. Agents may sell you one annuity, then maybe 12 months or 18 months later calls and say they have a different annuity for you and you need to switch. What that means to you is you may be hit with a penalty for early withdrawal, but it's an upfront commission for the agent again. And you might even have a tax implication on top of it. So, but if you have a financial advisor whom you've been working with for years, you know that knows your financial goals, your financial picture, your risk tolerance, and suggests adding an annuity to your portfolio, and gives you an explanation on the type of an annuity, the pros and the cons, and why it makes sense for you to diversify your portfolio, then an annuity might be a right investment for you. Like Antonio mentioned over and over, do not make any decisions to buy an annuity right away. Sleep on it, think it over with a family member or someone that you trust. If an annuity is a good deal today, it will be a good deal tomorrow. So insurance scams, warning signs. What are some insurance scam warning signs? So we all know the saying, if it sounds too good to be true, it probably is. And here's a few warning signs to watch out for. Free seminars. If an agent is offering free seminars at places like assisted living centers, retirement communities, even nice restaurants in exchange for a free meal, be cautious, okay? Often these agents are looking to gain access to your financial information, not just the service they provide. So creating an updated living trust. Be wary of agents offering to create or update a living trust in order to see your financial information. They are trying to find new clients that could potentially be worth a lot more to them than the living trust that they are offering. They want your financial information, and it is your job to guard it. Remember, there is no title called Senior Retirement Living Trust. This is a title that they use on their own. This is not to say not to set up a trust or a will, but this can be a complicated process, and you want to make sure that it's done with a licensed attorney. Senior rights. So seniors have more rights when it comes to insurance, and it's called the Senior Insurance Bill of Rights. You can see a whole list of those benefits on our website. But one of the senior rights is that you may review a policy, an insurance policy, a life insurance policy, long-term care, Medicare supplement for 30 days after receiving the policy in order to decide whether you want to keep the policy. If not, if you decide you do not want the policy, you can get it a full refund, except variable annuities. Remember, if you are considering to purchase a renewal of an annuity or have any questions on any policy, our department is here to help and answer any questions that you might have. So don't become a victim of fraud. What can you do to avoid becoming a victim of insurance fraud? Okay, you can check the status of an insurance company or an agent on our website. You can also call. So if you want to make sure if any insurance company or any agent has any complaints filed against them, you can do so by contacting our department. You should always answer all questions thoroughly and truthfully. False statements or omissions can cancel a policy. Do not leave any blank spaces on an application. Dishonest agents can fill in the blanks without you knowing, without your approval. Get everything in writing, or take pictures, and compare policies. Don't pay with cash. Make checks payable to the insurance company or agency name and never in the agent's name. Don't buy coverage that you can't afford and only the coverage that you need. Avoid being over or underinsured. Most important, ask questions. A lot of us sometimes don't like to ask questions. Me, I think I'm getting a little comfortable with asking questions as I get older, right? So what does the policy cover? What is not covered and what is excluded? What is the cost and how often? If I cancel, are there any surrender charges? Is it suitable for my situation? Never feel pressured or intimidated. And always consider having a trusted person with you. Agents know that they should never use high sale pressure tactics and never sign anything that you do not understand. So here, insurance fraud resources and contacts. If you suspect fraud, call someone, report it. There are 4 organizations to call here, and the last one is a website that you can learn more about current insurance scams. So when it comes to insurance scams, you report it to our department. A lot of people report it to the police department. You want to go ahead and report that to our department. If you do not make reports to our department or file complaints, that's how we know what's happening. So here is our senior gateway. It's an informational page on our website. It's a one-stop shop. It provides seniors, their families, and caregivers with information that they need to connect to helpful services and resources to find answers and solve problems. This includes information on topics such as avoiding and reporting abuse and neglect, preventing fraud, financial abuse and common scams, also healthcare information, and your rights. So please visit us at seniors.insurance.ca.gov. Okay. And if you have questions about your current insurance policy, new policy, if you've been denied coverage, your claim has been canceled, or you want to report fraud, please call our consumer hotline at 1-800-927-4357. Easy way to remember this is 1-800-927-HELP. We have experts that can assist you in different languages. So thank you so much for your time, and I hope that you leave here remembering knowledge is power and that you are ready to take action to protect yourself.
Well, that was excellent, Judith. And Antonia and Judith, I think both of you hit it out of the park. And, I've been to a lot of these, and not just because I helped organize this, but it was actually really excellent and informative. So thank you. So with that, I just want to thank you all for being here. I know on a Friday afternoon, it's hard to make time. We really appreciate it. I want to thank Judith and Antonia again for the presentations, which were excellent. And again, to my staff, Assemblymember Rodriguez's staff, all of our partners here, Kaiser, our credit unions, Western University, our police department, obviously the Department of Insurance, and DFPI for doing this. And look, this is going to be one of many educational types of events that we have. And if you have any questions following up on any of this, reach out to both of our offices, and we're happy to help. But otherwise, stay vigilant, stay safe, and have a great weekend. Thank you for coming.